Hello and welcome to my channel, How To with Paul Henderson. Today's episode I will be installing the PULSAR LT. It is an inline control module. I will be installing this on my truck to disable the DFM, which is dynamic fuel management, and I will be doing this on my 2019 Chevy Silverado All-Star Edition with the V8 5.3 liter Ecotec 3 engine, dynamic fuel management, which is soon to be disabled, and an 8-speed automatic transmission. There are 7 modes that are accessible through the PULSAR LT's program menu. The first one is a speed limiter. You can adjust that from 82 to 140 miles an hour. The second is the TPMS, tire pressure remonitoring system. That can be adjusted from 1 to 99 psi. The third is the tire size. So if you increase or decrease the tire size, you punch in those numbers and it will correct the vehicle's display speed. The fourth is the axle ratio. The fifth is to clear the DTC codes, or as people like to call them, trouble codes. The sixth is to disable the auto start stop technology, which I had already disabled 2 weeks after I bought the truck. And the seventh, which is the main reason why I bought this PULSAR LT, is to disable the DFM. If you're kind of curious what DFM is, that is dynamic fuel management. There are 17 distinct cylinder patterns stored within the computer. The computer will figure out which one is best for your driving condition at that time. So this vehicle can actually run on 1 cylinder. That would most likely be if I'm going down a steep grade hill, like when I come back from Tahoe. It's like maybe a 5% grade for like 10 miles. So the computer might choose to use 1 cylinder. There's other times it might choose to use 5, 6, 4. There's 17 in there, so it just chooses the best one. That is supposed to actually increase your fuel mileage. There's a debate on that. Some people say once they deactivated the DFM, they got better gas mileage or it stayed the same. So, with that said, I'm not going to say anything about the lifter failures. That's a whole nother, that's a sore subject with me right now. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to the front of the vehicle and I'll show you what's in this box and the tools you'll need to install it. So follow me. Here is the PULSAR LT. Comes in this nice little box. Go ahead and slide it out. Inside here, you get your instruction manual and a quick start guide. Here is the PULSAR LT. And let's go ahead and get rid of that. Get rid of that. Here's the wiring harness. You also get some zip ties and a couple Velcro pieces of tape. So here's the wiring harness. This larger one connects to the lower OEM stock connector. This one connects to the upper OEM stock connector. And this one here plugs into the PULSAR LT. The tools you will need: 10mm socket with an extension, a ratchet, and a flathead screwdriver. A small one preferably. This will be used to pull up on this red tab that is on the stock connector. So let's go ahead and get to the front of the vehicle and I'll show you how to install this. The first thing you're going to need to do is to disconnect the negative battery terminal. So we'll go ahead and pull this off. There we go. On the lower wiring harness is a fir tree connector that attaches to the airbox. You need to pull that away. You're going to take your flathead screwdriver and pull up on the red tab. And you're going to see this dial rotate when you pull up on this sleeve. So you're going to go ahead and push in on the corner and then just pull up on it. And then just pull it out, just like that. You're going to grab a PULSAR LT wiring harness. Now you're going to go ahead and connect the lower one first. So this is the stock lower connector, and this is the PULSAR LT. Put it just like that. You're going to push down on it. And just like the stock OEM connector, you're going to see this dial rotate. It's best if you put it on that bracket. And then go ahead and push the red tab down on that. That's locked in place. You're going to take the other end of the PULSAR LT connector, and here is the stock upper one. Going to go ahead and just slide it in there like that. Make sure it's pushed down. And then what you can do, we'll just do it this way. You'll hear it snap in place, and then you're going to push down on the red tab. Now that's done. Now what we need to do is pull push the harness down lower into this cavity. I'm going to have to cut another wire tie down there because I can't get this lower connector where it's supposed to be. And now I'm going to go grab the PULSAR LT. So the PULSAR LT plugs right in here. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and clean up these wires. And I need to, like I said, I need to cut one of the wire ties that is holding this harness in place, because I need to push it down further. This will mount onto this mounting bracket here, and the PULSAR LT I'll probably mount like right here or maybe on top. So I'll be back in a few minutes. After you make all your connections here, you're going to pull the excess factory wiring harness through an opening in here, and you're going to zip tie it to another wiring harness that is behind the headlamps. Then you're going to go ahead and just sit this back on the stem, the mounting stem. There you go. And then you're going to go over here. And I do have a aftermarket GM Chevrolet authorized cold air intake box. I'm not going to mount it on top. I'm going to put it right here. I did clean this with alcohol, and I did clean this. Let me go ahead and pull off this protective backing. And I'm going to go ahead and mount it right at the back of it, just like so. There we go. Push it on there. Hold it for about 15 seconds. And then you're going to want to make sure that this wire right here is running along with all the other ones. There you go. So that's it for this part right here. I'm going to go ahead and reconnect the battery. This scene that you're about to watch is filmed 7 days after the installation of the PULSAR LT. Before I went for the test drive, I put all my camera gear in the garage, along with the box and the packing material from the PULSAR LT. I came back from the ride, put away all my camera gear, and I decided to go through the instruction manual one more time just to make sure that I did and set everything correctly. And yes, I did. The one thing I noticed, they didn't send me the mounting bracket for the lower stock OEM connector that mounts to a bolt on the air box. I called them up the next day. They shipped it right out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that install right now. The tools you will need for that will be a ratchet, an extension, and a deep 10mm socket. I'm not going to film the install because it's pretty self-explanatory, but I will post a picture of the final installation of this bracket after it's been installed on the airbox. So I'm going to go ahead and get this install done, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have the mounting bracket all mounted. Looks pretty sweet. First thing you have to do is slip the lower stock OEM connector on the bracket, and then that bracket is going to mount to the bolt that holds down the air filter. And then you're going to pull the excess wiring from that lower connector through an opening that's behind the wheel well. If you want to, you can zip tie that wiring harness to another wire, and then check to make sure that that wiring harness isn't touching the metal, the sheet metal in there. If it is, take your thumb on that bracket and push it down, and then it'll move the whole time. It'll move that connector downward, which should move that wiring harness away from any metal parts. And that's it. So enjoy the rest of the video. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and jump in the vehicle and show you how to program it. I'm not going to show you how to program all 7 features, but I will show you which ones they are on the speedometer, which will make more sense when I show you. Let's go ahead and jump in the vehicle. To access the program menu, engine off. If using a push button start, foot off brake, press and hold the start button for 5 seconds. If you're using a key, turn the key to the run position. I have a push button start, so I'm going to push and hold it for 5 seconds. So now I'm in the programming mode. You're going to use these 3 buttons right here: cruise cancel, cruise resume, and cruise set. In order to go into the program menu, you're actually going to push cruise cancel for 5 seconds. You'll see it sweep to 140. It should either stop at 10 or at 0, so it's actually stopping at 10. That is for the speed limiter. You're going to push cruise cancel once. It's going to sweep to 140 and stop at the current setting for the speed limiter, which is 110. I'm going to change it to 120. And then you're going to hit cruise cancel to set. Okay, so that's set. Now when you want to change another mode that's in there, you have to push and hold the cruise cancel for 5 more seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. And you'll see it sweep to 140. And it should go back to 10 or 0. So it's going to stop at 10. Now I'm going to go up to auto start stop disable, which is number 60 or 6. Hit cruise cancel. Now the current factory setting is 0 for active, 10 for disable. So I'm going to go ahead and go up to 10. Hit cruise cancel. This will set it. Auto stop off. And then it sweeps to 140 to let you know that it's been programmed in. And now it's back down to 0. And now I'm going to go up to number 7, which is 70, and that is for the AFM, DFM disable. Push and hold the cruise cancel for 5 seconds. Sweeps to 140. And then you're going to use the cruise resume to go up to 70. So it's at 70. You're going to hit the cruise cancel. Sweeps to 140. Now 0 is active, 10 is disabled. So I'm going to use the cruise resume to go up to 10. Hit the cruise cancel button once. Sweeps to 140 to let you know that it's been entered. And that's it. I'm going to walk you through the 7 modes and tell you what they are. In order to do that, I need to press cruise cancel for 5 seconds. So now I'm in a programming mode. 10 is the speed limiter. 20 is TPMS. So if you're going to run a lower pressure in your tire and you don't want a warning light to come on, you can go ahead and adjust it for that. 30 is tire size. So if you're going to run a larger or smaller tire, you would enter this mode and put in the tire size that you're going to be using, and that will correct the vehicle's display speed. 40 is axle ratio. 50 is clear DTTs or clear the trouble codes. 60 is for auto start stop disable. And 70 is for AFM, DFM disable. So I'm going to go back down to 10, hit cruise cancel. This will show you what I have set for the speed limiter. Right now I have speed limiter set at 120. Go ahead and hit cancel again. And that's going to sweep to 140 and show you that it's all set. And now I'm out of the program mode. There is one more adjustment that you can make. It is called the responsiveness level adjustment. This is where you can adjust the sensitivity of the throttle response. To do this, the vehicle does need to be running. You can do this while you're parked in your driveway or driving. You do not need to stop or slow down. The cruise control does need to be in the off position to do this. You will use the cruise cancel to recall the last setting. The thumb will resume up or set minus down. So to check the last setting, you would hit cruise cancel. It stays at 0 because that is stock. And if you want to go up, 10 would be up to 15% less than stock. 20 would be up to 15% over stock. 30 would be up to 30% over stock. 40 would be up to 48% over stock. And 50 would be up to 65% over stock. Now it is set for level 5. That may be a little bit too sensitive for you. And if you're going down the road and you're not too sure what you have it set at, hit cruise cancel once. It goes up to what you have it currently set at. You can do this while you're driving. It's no big deal. Now, if you're driving, instead of it going back down to 0, it'll go to whatever speed you're at. If you're parked in the driveway, it goes back to 0. Anytime you want to change it, you do not have to press cruise cancel. You can just hit resume plus or set minus. So I'm going to go down, and what it's going to do is it's going to go to the next lower level, which would be 40 and 30 and 20. I'm going to go ahead and do the test drive at 20 because I think that's probably a fair setting to have it at. And there you go. It is set at up to 15% over stock. So now, on to that test drive. Okay, the programming's all finished. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take the vehicle for a test drive, and I'm going to use the footage from the Garmin dash cam that I have inside my vehicle, and then I'll come back and tell you what if I could actually notice a difference, because now it's going to be a full-time V8 instead of a part-time V8. So the throttle responsivity should be like pretty much instantaneously, no more lag time, because what was happening before, just say that I'm cruising down the freeway doing 65 miles an hour, and then I want to pass somebody, step on the gas. Just takes, I don't know how long, maybe half a second or whatever, for all the lifters to kick back in to become a full 8 to get me to into passing gear and just take off. So I'm hoping there won't be any lag time. So anyway, let me go ahead and get all this camera gear put away, and I'll be back in a couple hours, which will only be a few seconds for you. All right, bye. Well, I'm back, and I can definitely feel the difference during acceleration. My truck doesn't sound any different than it did before. The muffler I have on here is a MagnaFlow, and it is the same exact size as the stock one. It's just more of a straight through airflow design compared to the chopped up one that is normally on there. And so like when you're normally driving down the road at 65 miles an hour, the computer is going to choose one of those 17 cylinder patterns that are stored in the computer. And then when you go to step on it, it has to go back to full V8. So there's a slight little lag time in there. Well, now there is no lag time. And I did increase the throttle sensitivity to number 2. So I'm sure that made a difference. And I am going to show you a video clip, be about a minute long, from the Garmin dash cam. And that is where I'm not going to go any faster than 70, but I will slow down, give it 3/4 throttle, slow down, go back to 3/4, slow down, go back to 3/4. So I'm not going to do any talking in that part of the video, and you can just listen to it and see if you can hear a difference. Well, actually, you won't know what it sounds like before. But maybe you can hear that there's no lag time between giving it 3/4 throttle and going into passing gear. So let me know what you think. And I really do think I'm going to love this PULSAR LT. So enjoy the next few minutes, well, the next minute of video. So go ahead and watch it. Well, that's a wrap up on another how-to video with Paul Henderson. This one was the installation of the PULSAR LT in my 2019 Chevy Silverado. I no longer have DFM. Well, the DFM is still there, but it's disabled, and I'm really happy about that. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That really helps out my channel, and the bell icon, and you'll get notifications as new videos come out. And like all my other videos, there are some bloopers at the end of this, so after this little closing spiel, stay for those. I like putting those in there. I don't know if people watch them, but I don't know. I get really frustrated when I make these videos sometimes. This one, I started at about 9 o'clock. It is now 12. Actually, it would have just taken a few minutes to put that in, but you know, you got retakes. What can I say? Anyway, in about 6 months, I will do a 6-month review of the PULSAR LT, and there I will give you an unbiased and honest opinion of what I think of that PULSAR LT. So, with that said, have a good day, and may your truck run fast all the time. Or, may your truck stay a V8 all the time. Have a good day, and see you later. Bye. Test 1, test 2, test 3, test 1, test 2, test 3. Hello and welcome to my channel, How To with Paul Henderson. Today's episode, I will be Damn, first take. I practiced for like 2 days. Hello and welcome to my channel, How To with Paul Henderson. Today's episode, I will be installing the PULSAR LT. It is an inline... Damn, I forgot what they call it. Son of a... Basically, what I had bought this for is I'm going to be deactivating or disarming. I forgot what they call it. Disarm. Disable. Shit. Test 1, test 2, test 3. There are 7 modes that are accessible through the PULSAR's programming menu, and those are, the first one is, I forgot, PULSAR. Test 1, test 2, test 3. The third is the tire size. So if you decrease or increase the tire size, you punch in those numbers and it will correct the vehicle's displayed speed that is on your fuck. I don't have an exhaust system on here. I did replace the muffler, and I had put a MagnaFlow, which was the same exact size as a stock muffler. It's just a flow through air and a flow air through design. No. The only difference here is that the muffler, the new muffler, is a flow through air through a flow, an airflow. The muffler is a straight through airflow design. Damn it. Test 1, test 2, test 3. Test 1, test 2, test 3. Well, I'm back, and now there's an airplane going overhead. Fucking bitches. Son of a gun. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That really helps out my channel. And the bell icon, and you'll get notifications as new videos come out. And be sure to stay to the end, because there are some bloopers. And I'm going to do this one more time.